We're burning the fuzz at both ends.
I feel uncomfortable with
that's
mishumorism.
Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Burning the fuzz at both ends. It's
Idle.
episode 15, I think. I'm pretty sure it's episode 15.
Yes, maybe.
We'll
It's
figure
fit-
it out in editing.
It could also be
Yes.
episode 12 again, because I think we had 3 episode 12s in a row. So
Or 16. Math is hard. None of us are good at it.
actually,
We'll
Blaze is quite good. He's an engineer. So
It doesn't mean he's good at math. It just means he's good at passing classes.
Yeah.
also true. I mean, that is respectable.
Who's better at passing classes than some of the people in this call, so.
Including myself. Yes.
Yes. I meant me and Fuzz specifically. But, yeah, so that's a thing. How you guys doing? It's Fuzz's birthday this week. That was fun.
Yay.
The whole week was
Happy
his
day,
birthday.
being old as frick, Fuzz. Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Yeah, happy birthday.
I'm an old guy.
he
I
is.
didn't send you what I was going to send you, and I won't even say it on air. I'll tell you later. But I wanted to send you something that was hilarious, and then I thought better of it.
Oh,
Aw.
okay. Well,
Makes me
all
sad.
right then.
He'll figure it out later.
Yeah, I'll figure it out later. Whatever that thing is.
It's a secret.
It was also St. Patty's Day, which is fun. Did you guys have a drink for St. Patty's Day?
Nope.
No,
I
I actually
did, in
kind of
fact.
completely missed that. Should have noticed when all the memes started talking about St. Patrick's Day. I was just like, oh yeah, I guess that's coming up.
So sad.
My excuse is I'm not Irish.
So Seth, you're like half Irish, or like a quarter. You can't just skip our only holiday.
You
I'm
know,
also a quarter Irish.
Yeah.
I got the flask and everything for it. I messed
Yeah,
up.
dude. What the? Oh my goodness.
It's because every day is drinking day.
That's true.
He's not.
Every
He's
day
not
is
wrong,
a day.
Ryan.
No, he's
Why
not
don't, why don't
wrong.
you Why don't you celebrate St. Patrick's Day more often? Is the real question.
The true
alcohol-
Irish way.
Alcohol is expensive, man, and I don't want to
Yeah.
celebrate like the real Irish do because I'm pretty sure the
Be-
real
be
way to
drunk
do
as
it is,
be night
is to just die or fight people
in the bar, in the
In
pub, I guess I should say.
in the pub. So Fuzz and Blaze are supposed to have topics this week for us, right? Because we had topics last week for them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or did I screw that up?
I think that's right.
That'll work. That's
It
fine.
was
sounds right.
technically you and I had topics, and Seth answered one because Fuzz wasn't here because he had the.
Mm,
Oh yeah, that's right. I guess that was me.
okay. I know Fuzz has a topic. Blaze, do you have one?
Yeah, I got a list here. I just got to pick one that we haven't used yet.
Okay. I guess you want me to go first, Zach, or do you want me to go?
I
Or do you want
don't
to go
care.
first?
Whatever.
Okay, I'll go first. Either one of you can give me a topic, and I'll do my best.
I won't give you the topic because I don't have a list to go through. I just have the topic.
Okay.
Ryan, you are expert in eaglets.
I'm sorry.
Right. You're an expert in eaglets.
I'm gonna need a spelling for that.
Oh yes, that's how I thought it was spelled.
Okay. Egglet.
Aglet. Eaglet. Or
Oh yes,
eaglet.
Ryan. So, as the egglet expert, just give us a little rundown. What we got going on here?
Well, as you may not know, an egglet is the most affectionate term that we give to our projects in the genetic engineering and enhancement division of the military. Typically, we give this name to, and this is all classified, so I'm giving it to you in the broadest of terms, between two animals. I won't specify which two, but the name is pretty much a dead giveaway. This is what we call this abomination. We call them egglets, and they're very adorable when they're young, and really grotesque as they get older.
Humans.
Sorry, it took me a second because I got a message from Andy. So
That was
keep asking me
a
questions.
lot to unload.
I can multitask.
Okay.
So you said the name is present in the spelling. Of the two
type
creatures.
of creature is pretty apparent from the name,
What?
Well,
Which
I
is
know it.
classified.
which is classified.
an Aggie is a type of dog.
That's not quite
So-
right. I tell you what, I can't say it out loud, but I could put it in the chat maybe.
When
No, I'll
is
say
the
it out
pig
loud.
apocalypse?
Thank you, Blaze. We got there. So
I'm sorry, I
it
didn't
is-
realize apocalypse was an animal.
No, it's not. No, he said pig. It's a fusion of a baby pig and alligator genes. They're
Alligator
eggless.
pigs.
Yeah,
Are
alligator
they
pigs.
Are they the miniature pigs or like the cute ones?
Yeah, they start out as like little baby pigs, little baby, and they really are just like piglets, but their skin tone is a little darker, and their skin is a little more scaly. It's a little more rough. Their hide's a little thicker. But as they get older, their snout becomes really pronounced and kind of like juts out a little bit more, and they grow teeth, and it's really kind of unsettling, to be
I
honest.
see that. Yes.
Can you make them grow 2 heads?
I can't make them grow 2 heads, but that mutation has happened naturally. Will you burn those with fire, by the way?
What
Okay,
about-
so?
3 heads.
Oh, you go for it, Seth.
I was just gonna actually see if Blaze would keep going with the number of heads until Ryan's time was up. But I was gonna say, since this is a redacted military program experiment, obviously there's got to be a use that you have for this. So obviously, crocodile crossed with an animal that
Alligator,
will
not
literally.
crocodile. Alligator.
I'm sorry, alligator crossed
Very
with
different creatures.
yes, crossed with a pig, and pigs are omnivorous and will eat literally anything, even cannibalizing their own kind.
True.
What is the purpose of this hybrid, along with are there any other ones that are currently in production or have already been in production or planned for?
Now I can't let you know if they currently exist or are on the ground somewhere on the planet, but I can divulge what their purpose was. It's a form of control outside of normal seizing of assets. In a way, you stop transportation of goods by intervening or taking goods as they're being delivered, usually by
They're brushing
taking
with
stuff
egglets.
exactly, by taking something off the street. So in this sense, you're more destroying an ecosystem or attacking an ecosystem, causing problems within the country's ecology by releasing apex predators that have no rivals. You introduce it into an ecology, and then it becomes to run rampant, and then it becomes very difficult to get things like fish or deer because they're all dead. You release a couple of these at a time, and then you wait. You're really playing the long game here. But yeah, you could use it to disturb and disrupt the enemy's forces.
Have they
So, up you, Blaze.
Have they wiped out any civilizations yet?
Not wiped out. We have inadvertently made some things go extinct. Pandas were an unfortunate victim. That was not something that we had planned on, but they're very slow and they're very lazy, and turns out they die very quickly. And before you ask, Blaze, yes, they are actually quite venomous.
Can they beat a gorilla in an arm wrestling match?
Well, they don't have arms, so no.
Wait,
So-
legs?
They have hoofs.
The question I think begs to be asked: why?
I think the better question is why not?
Because we can.
Well, you're not the expert here.
Why
Because,
not murder, Seth? Why not?
Because we can. Mostly, and this will be the last question because I am out of time. But mostly
No.
because
I have a really good one.
Okay, well, I'll allow one more then. So you take the predatory nature of an alligator, and I don't know if you ever noticed of alligators or crocodiles, but they just get bigger the more they eat. They don't really get fat; they just get bigger. So I wanted to take the natural predatory instinct and the omnivorous aspects of an alligator, and then attach it to the body of something that has a biological structure about as similar to humans as possible. This is really just a way to see if we can get superhumans by infusing them with DNA of very dominant creatures. It's kind of a pre-superhuman serum
So,
type project.
Okay. So I guess that kind of answers my follow up for the explanation of why. I guess more so why the hybrid instead of just going the de-evolution route, because pigs used to be their own apex predator.
Pigs don't work fast. Evolution doesn't work fast enough for me. Zach, you had a question?
Yes. So, how much did y'all bet on the fights between them? Because I know this happens when y'all were designing them. Y'all had
so
the
much money.
previous generations of them before you got the exact
much
one you
money.
wanted. I know y'all bet on them.
Yeah.
And is that how y'all decided that was the apex predator y'all wanted? Y'all had them in a battle royale. Some would say a March Madness of events.
Well, yes. And the piglets were very staple. We wanted the pig to be half of the equation because it has a similar organ structure, or at least as far as like the stomach goes. They're very similar to us, so it had to be animals infused with the pig. And birds didn't go that well because the beak is just not great for. Like it's okay for eating meat. There are obviously some very successful carnivorous birds, but it wasn't really what we were looking for. We were looking for something that was a little bit more raw. So we wanted something that could be more violent. And we thought alligator. Monkey was okay. We fear the monkey one because you're adding pig and monkey intelligence. And it's essentially just a monkey with the organ structure of a pig. And that just didn't work nearly as well as the like raw, visceral alligator. But it was a lot. It was a lot. I don't know I don't know the exact amount, but I lost a lot of money.
All right, Fuzz. So, how close was he? Are we talking about alligator pig tier?
You were really close with the alligator pigs.
I'm sure I was.
Except for you weren't. So like when you wear a hoodie or on your shoes, on the end of the string, the little thing that keeps it from unraveling, the plastic or the metal.
Yes.
That's an eaglet.
Wow, I could not have been more wrong.
That was pretty way off, but I mean, I figured it was because it's an interesting word, right, to think about.
Yes.
But it's from a French word or an old French word like aiguille, or a word meaning pin, basically, because you thread your shoelaces through your holes, through the eye of the shoelace hole. What is that called? There's another word to know. And so that's how it's used.
Interesting. Well, thank you for that one.
Yeah. But it was I guess your last was invented in the 1790s, and the guy was said to have made 2.5 million off of it in the 1790s.
Wow, in the 1790s?
Yeah.
I wonder how much that would translate.
Shocking, honestly.
Yeah, I wonder how much that would translate to today's.
You said 2.5 million?
Yeah. That would be like.
Dude, that would be several $billion.
Several
billion dollars, yeah.
At least.
At least one.
All right. Blaze, did you have something you wanted to share with the class?
Yeah.
For Zach? All right, let's give it a go.
So originally my thought was I'm kind of drunk right now, so you should be a hangover cure specialist. But seeing as we had pig alligators,
Well, and we talked about Vislogia last week, and that's hangovers. So
Yes, we did.
Anyway, you are a professional alligator wrangler. And I'm wondering if you've ever encountered any of these pig alligators.
well, you see, as a professional alligator wrangler, I have never wrangled an aglet. So
Thank goodness. You would have
I don't
died. It
know.
would have killed you.
they
Because-
apparently are out of the realm of normal people. So
Beyond your scope.
Are they ethereal, Ryan?
No, obviously not. They must
All
be material.
hail the ethereal aglet.
Oh, hail Lord Aglet. I wish one of us was really good at art, and we could draw the aglet.
Blaze, you now have been destined to create one in your Photoshop.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, back to questions.
Andre,
So what do y'all want to know about alligator wrangling?
Oh man, never heard of an alligator wrangler.
How often do you get bit?
Well, luckily not that often. So it's pretty easy to keep their mouth shut, but it's not easy to open their mouth. So that's something you got to know about alligators. And I'm not one of the stupid ones that sticks their arms in there just hoping I don't get bit. That's kind of dumb, in my opinion. I'm one of the ones that just, we do the shows for the kids, and luckily I've never had a kid killed while I was showing off or anything like that. But it does happen. You've seen those videos, I'm sure, on the TikToks and the Twitters and stuff. So
Would you consider Steve Irwin a role model?
that's why I got into this field. Steve Irwin, he was my guy, and he got taken from us too soon. Freaking manta rays, stingrays, they got him.
I have a song for you later, Zach. Remind me after the podcast since you said that. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So, do you wrangle anything outside? Could you wrangle a crocodile?
No, very different things.
Absolutely.
Alligator
not.
wranglers and crocodile wranglers, not the same.
Could you explain the difference?
Do you find it offensive that he asked you that question?
Kind of. I'm contemplating leaving this call as an expert of my knowledge,
I would not be surprised. I would, however, be a little upset.
I apologize for
Thank
my
you.
ignorance. Could you please elaborate on the difference between the two and why it was such a ridiculous question for me to ask?
Well, they're very different. And it all has to do with the way their mouths are. And where they live. So normally we have, I believe the crocodile is more native to the Australias of the world and stuff, and we have alligators and stuff more here in America. America. So the crocodiles, from what I remember, I'm not an expert on crocodiles, so this is just my basic understanding. They're more suited for seawater. They're more adapted from the old school dinosaurs. And alligators are too, but they're more freshwater creatures. They live in the bayous and stuff down in Louisiana. So, and in Florida, in the Keys. So the biggest difference is where they live. And alligators are a little bit nicer than crocodiles. I know that sounds weird, but crocodiles are very aggressive. That's why I don't recommend being a crocodile wrangler and being an alligator wrangler instead.
True.
Is there any kind of rivalry between the two groups? Do the crocodile wranglers believe themselves superior to the alligator wranglers and vice versa? Or is it pretty,
Well,
chill?
there's a language barrier usually, because alligators are really only found in the United States. Us people from the United States aren't very smart compared to the rest of the world, so we really only speak one language, whereas everyone else in the world really speak 4 or 5 languages. So, it's kind of a big cutoff for us to have competition with each other. So,
Yeah, that's a fair point. I didn't want to hog the questions.
Yeah. Fuzz, you had a question?
Well, I do have a question. So a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, we had a chicken sexer expert on. Do you do any alligator sexing? Is that part of your job?
I'm just a wrangler, so I'm a show expert. I am not a breeder, so.
Do you eat their eggs much? Do you eat their eggs?
No, not personally. We kind of try to preserve them, mainly because there's not that many of them left, really. It seems like there's an abundance, but there's really not. They're not very here anymore. And just so y'all know, obviously the bigger alligators are male and the smaller ones are female. So that's how you can tell them apart. And the females are more aggressive, even though they're smaller. So
They got eggs to protect. Well, thank you
Yep.
for that, Zach. Blaze, do you have anything to add on the alligator wrangler?
I'm not the expert.
He's got a point. He's not the expert.
Okay.
I think Ryan was saying it's the end of the time.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no. Yeah. His 5 minutes is over. And typically when we give topics, we have something else to add. But I guess we'll just move along. All right, guys. How's your week been?
Been pretty
Decent.
good. Pretty good.
Good. Good.
You know, nothing like another week. I think it rained about, I think they said 40 inches this week here. So it was a wet week here.
It's my favorite kind of weeks. The wet
That's
ones.
a lot of rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we got that much rain, but we did get our fair share of rain. Not, of course, that insane. But
I heard y'all had tornadoes, or there were tornadoes near.
There was
we don't
some
take those
warnings.
seriously.
We did.
stuff,
we did
yeah.
get some warnings. Yeah.
I know they had them really
tornado
bad in
suggestions.
Alabama. I don't know if they ever got up to Memphis, but I heard they were in Alabama.
Yeah, everything's twisted in Bama.
Yeah, well, it would have been
True.
nice to have someone from Alabama on, like Andy, who isn't here. Andy. I know he's probably not
No.
listening, but just trying to poke fun at him.
We pretend.
What was that thing you shared earlier, Zach? PlayStation announced its.
Oh, real quick, just so we
PSVR?
know, 25 million or 2.5 million dollars in 1790. Not as much as we thought, but it's still worth quite a bit. It would be 71 million dollars today.
Okay,
Still
okay,
more
that's a
than-
lot of money.
So not anywhere
71
close
million
to
more
a
dollars than
billion.
what I got.
It's still
Yeah.
it's still fu money, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, I would even take 2.5 million right now. Just saying.
I would
I'd
also
take 50
yeah.
bucks.
Any anonymous contributors, hey, I'm here.
We
Give it to me.
we should set up a Patreon. We should definitely not do that.
Yeah, something fun this week. Cash App sent me $10 in Bitcoin. They had a thing going on for opening their Bitcoin thing on Cash App,
What?
and I tweeted at them, and they sent me $10 in Bitcoin,
Oh.
not 10 Bitcoins.
I was gonna
but
say
$10
what?
worth of Bitcoins.
Dude, crypto.
They gave out $1 million in Bitcoin.
Crypto's been like all over the place. Like in January, it was super high, and then in February, it kind of like stagnated, then dropped, and it's been kind of volatile for the past month or so. It's been trending up more recently. I think this morning they were recording like 2 or 3% above market, but it's better than it was like mid to late February, like right around that time the ice storm hit. Like, cause man, the crypto was really not great. But that's crazy. I kind of wish I'd gotten in on that because I want Bitcoin. I just haven't had the. I guess I just haven't had the balls to like go in and throw some money in. Like Ethereum and Stellar just seem better investments. But you guys don't really do crypto, so I won't talk too much about it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really either, but they were just like, hey, tweet at us and you could win some.
But more and more
I
people
don't remember
are
what it's
buying
called.
it.
I don't remember what it's called. There's a unit of measurement that they give it out in. Satoshis.
Hmm.
So that's
Wonder
a measurement of Bitcoin.
I wonder what
I don't know.
Dogecoin's at right now.
But
Mm.
crypto is an interesting category for sure.
It is. I'm
Um,
going to keep an eye on it. So I was helping my mom clean out one of her rooms today because I have family coming in town soon. And so cleaning out some old stuff, we found an old Pokemon Blue cartridge and a PS1 memory card. And like I immediately was like, oh my God, I miss this stuff so much. Found a bunch of like old baby pictures or like pictures from when we were kids. And it was like, I don't
Aw, little cute Ryan.
dude, like that stuff's cringy for me. Do you guys look back at your baby pictures and you're like, huh, that's me, that's cute? Or you're like, oh God, I don't want to look at that. Look at that blob. Like, we found some of my old senior pictures that that friend of the show, Kayla Stans, took. And man, I was like, oh, I don't want to think about me in high school or look at pictures of me from high school. Do you guys like feel the same way about yourselves? Like, you don't want to look at that old stuff because it brings up like old feelings, or do you like to go back and think about stuff from high school?
I try not to think that much about high school, honestly.
Yeah, usually I'm filled with regrets of and longing for the past. So,
Blaze, if this is a penis, I swear to God.
might as well be.
That was pretty quick. That's actually pretty good,
I was
Blaze.
gonna say, is this what you've been working on? That's not bad.
It's not me. It was Audrey.
That's gonna be the thumbnail.
I was gonna say it actually looks more like something she would draw. I
Okay.
recognize your handwriting, and that is not your handwriting.
Mine would look
Alright,
more like
I'll
a
have to
penis.
I'll have to find a way to please no penises. I have to find a way to put this in the video. I wonder if I can download this. Anyway, go ahead.
I
Zach.
would say.
Oh, holy hell. No, go ahead.
So, I would say in general, I don't mind seeing pictures of myself from high school. I was in reasonably good shape, and I don't know. Nice skin is a thing of the past as you start to age. So there's that. I don't like thinking about the times from high school, though. That's for sure.
Just generally popular in high school. So like I don't hate that time. It just I don't know. I like life now. Like I don't know, I lived with a single parent and didn't have much. So now that I have my own money and can do what I want, it's pretty nice. So
Yeah, like, so I don't know what everybody's experience was. I have a pretty good idea, but I went to a public school, and my graduating class was like 2,000 or 3,000 kids. So I was like a drop in the bucket there, and I tried to basically make myself as invisible as possible. And I succeeded pretty well, honestly. I mean, I didn't graduate top of my class or anything, but I know the people who did. And man, they worked their butt off, and I was like, I'm not gonna work that hard because high school's not that serious. I wish I had worked maybe a little bit harder, but I don't know. Like, I don't look fondly back on high school. There was some stuff that happened around the time that happened to coincide with the time I was in high school, right around that age, with like the youth group we were a part of. And not so much Seth, because your youth group was like a generation right behind mine, but like Fuzz or Zac, you weren't really a part of it much either. But
nope,
you know, around
because
that,
we didn't live in Memphis at that time.
yeah, but like around that time, the friends that I had, you know, we did some stuff. So like, there's some things from during high school, or like that time I guess I was in high school, that I think back fondly on. But like high school in general, the experience for me was mostly like, go in, keep your head down, don't say anything, and then leave. And then like in the last 2 years, play Call of Duty. That was it. Although I guess senior year of high school was the time that we like went super hard on Black Ops 4 or Black Ops 1. I'm pretty sure that was senior year of high school for me.
That should have been 2008, 9.
Yeah, I graduated in 08.
Yeah, 8.
So.
I think 07 was Black Ops, or not Black Ops, Modern Warfare 1, and then 08 was, no, that's not right. Because War at War was 08, and then 09 was Modern Warfare 2. 2010 was Black Ops 1.
Because I wasted my life on Modern Warfare 2.
Why I know all the dates for those? I don't know. That's a good question.
Fuzz was good at
not
Modern
relevant.
Warfare. He was good at Modern Warfare 2.
That was my best one.
It was.
Yeah. ACR with open sights and stopping power.
Dude, don't even.
FAMAS. You don't
Dude,
even
that's
need
like
stopping
that's like
power.
FAMAS.
cheating. Dude,
Silent
ACR
FAMAS.
with stopping power was a laser
Intervention.
beam.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
One man
okay.
army, noob tubes.
Oh, that ruined. The only thing about one man army noob tubes is that it took like half a year for people to realize you could do that, and before it became popular. So you could play the game normally for like the first few months, and then like after a couple of people made YouTube videos about it, it became like the most popular thing, and then it was just the worst after that. So I don't know. So then what would your guys' maybe best high school memory be that just involves like high school? Not like extracurricular stuff or stuff that happened during the summer.
Oh,
You
okay,
mean like a class then, if no extracurriculars?
Well, extracurriculars from attached to the high school, nothing like youth group related or stuff that happened during the summer.
Oh, okay.
So like if you had like a practice or like a football game or something.
all right, Ryan, I got you here.
All right.
Leaving.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Blaze, on
That
a
was
scale
gonna
of
be
1 to
mine.
10, how drunk are you?
Sounds like an 8 to me.
Yeah.
Earlier, I was like probably a 4,
How
And
early,
now?
how earlier was earlier?
like 5 to 10, 5 when we were doing the 5-minute segment. Now I'm probably like a 3 or a 2.
He's
It
evolved.
just-
His liver is adapting.
It's just
Quickly
like
processes.
You're not drinking enough, Blaze. Obviously.
Yeah, no. When we started, I chugged like a half, like 3/4 or a half of a mouthful of this rum over here. I don't know what content it is.
I don't know, but so the people listening don't know, but Blaze has a very small mouth, so I don't chalk that up to much.
I would make a very inappropriate joke right now.
I
if
know
this
you
was
would. I'm
PG.
trying so hard. Anyway, so if Blaze's was leaving, Seth, I think I might know yours, but you can go ahead if you want.
You know what? Let me hear it. Curious.
Oh, now that I think about it, there are probably a couple others. I was thinking
was.
yours would be, was it your sophomore year? It wasn't your sophomore. It was your sophomore or junior year of high school when you guys won state.
Oh, dude, that was my freshman.
Was it your freshman year? So,
Yeah.
so Seth played football for the first. Was it only your first 2 years? It was just the first year.
No, I played football through middle school
Mm-hmm.
and then freshman and sophomore year of high school.
Okay, I thought it was maybe
And
this the
then never
first 2
again.
years. So you guys won state freshman year of high school, and our whole family went up to Kentucky. I don't remember where it was,
Cookville.
but huh?
Cookville, right?
Was it
Yeah,
Cookville?
Cookville.
Is that where
That's where
state?
you don't play state championship for Tennessee and Kentucky.
Dude, I don't know football stuff.
It's
All
in
right.
Cookville where they
Why
Tennessee
in-
Tech plays.
Why in Cookville? Okay. But our
'Cause
whole
it's the
family went up
almost
there
exact
and
middle.
they won, and I was like, that's got to be like, for a freshman, that's got to be like the thing. Like you take that ring and you ride that the rest of your year, or the rest of your stay in high school. But now that I think about it, if that was freshman year,
It's all downhill from there.
yeah, like, well, I mean, you met Jackie there, your lovely wife. You met her
I did
there.
not.
Well, you didn't meet her there, but did you meet
No.
her at middle school?
No, I met her. I mean, I think technically I met her in middle school when we went to Harding to watch whatever that play was. I didn't know I met her until we met again in high school in junior year.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
So then go
honestly,
ahead.
like the championship, I will be honest, I never cared about football. I only played football because it made other people in my life happy. It never made me
Uh-oh.
happy. And so I just literally middle school I did it the first year because mom and dad were like, "You're a fat kid, you need to do something." And I'm like, "Okay, fine. Do it for like one. We just want you to do it one time. If you do it one time, that's it." And
Do
I
it
was like,
for
"All
the
right,
vine."
fine. I'll do it for the vine." And then
Do it for
after
the
I finished
vine.
my first season in middle school, I'm like, "All right, I'm done." And then I had a coach as I was walking through the halls, like, "Hey, can't wait to see you in the spring." And me and my ability to please and not sure how to say no to peer pressure was like, "Ha, crap, I'm screwed." And then
We fixed that
second,
right up.
yeah, and second year in middle school, honestly, the football wasn't that bad. So it's like, maybe this isn't too bad, but I'm still done because I want to do like band instead, and you can only do band or football. And then I had one of my upperclassmen when he was visiting. He's like, "Hey, can't wait to see you for freshman tryouts." And I was like, "Oh, dang it! Guess I'm not doing band anymore. I'm doing football instead." And so
What
that's
we've learned
that's
from
exactly
this,
what
Seth
happened.
is easily peer pressured.
I
Just remember.
I
Oh,
was
he is. He is
super
absolutely super
easily.
easily peer pressured.
I am. It's horrible. And then even freshman year, like same thing. I was like, I was planning like, okay, I'm doing this one time, and then I'm done. And then, of course, we won state. I was put in the line. I'm like, well, I guess I'm stuck here. And my out was literally transferring schools.
Yep.
That
Seth
was my
literally
out.
to get out of football
GTFO.
transferred to a different school.
Time to GTFO.
That's.
I,
And
I,
at the other school, like they weren't pushing so much, but yeah, they were pushing me to try to join the team because like, oh, you got a state championship, you're good. I'm like, I have no idea how I got here. I know absolutely nothing. I don't even remember the plays. I was literally having to like ask people like, what the frick am I doing each time? Because I did not care to commit it to memory, and it wasn't really sticking. I had no interest. The only part I actually liked was the exercise portion because I actually got fit for the first time in my life, and I did like that.
And the
The actual
last
like
time
playing
of
the
your
game.
life.
Yep,
JK.
last time in my life, dude. So that was the only upside I found to football, and then the actual gameplay, nah.
So then what was your favorite memory then?
What would be my favorite?
That's also leaving.
Also, leave Harding was actually I did have quite a bit of fun time. Probably I'd have to say when I did our senior trip with a group of friends from Harding, we went down to Florida and stayed at one of their places. Their parents had like a rental house there or whatever. And we just stayed there for a week. We had a lot of fun doing that. Because even though we had a quote unquote parent chaperone, there was enough of us that we had a lot of autonomy. We're able to just kind of go and travel and do what we want.
Sounds
So it was
dope.
like the first away from home, not away from home thing. Plus, we got the benefit of having their parents pay for a lot of our meals because we were poor, call it, high school students that didn't have a lot of money. And I might have been an absolute dick, and I was given a lot of money for gas, and I might have forgotten to give back the change, and I might have gotten me an Xbox with the remaining money.
Wow.
I
You
didn't
gotta
know
do what
that.
you gotta do, bro.
To be fair, for the ones that asked for their money back, I did give it. And for the ones that forgot to, I
Okay,
might
well,
have forgotten to remind you.
that's a rule. That's a rule of like being a child versus being a parent. If you give your kid money for something and you don't ask for the change back, it's understood that you used all the money for the thing they gave you money for. And as a child, you understand that there's a chance that if you spend less than what they gave you, you just get to kind of keep the rest. And no one asks
No.
questions.
No, this wasn't mom and dad that gave me the money. This was like the friends pulling in because I took my car and drove.
Oh, that's
And so
worse.
we calculated like gas, and I
And your car
managed
got
to, I
better
guess,
gas
keep it under.
mileage.
Yeah, my car got better gas mileage than was calculated by quite a bit. So
Oh,
who was
dude.
I to complain?
Oh,
There's a
dude.
low summer for gas prices.
That's rough.
yeah, capitalism. Woo.
I did feel kind of guilty about it, but at the same time, I really wanted that new Xbox, so there is that.
Was it a 360?
It was the Black 360. So
Why
confession
gotta be black?
time.
So
Because the black was
it
sleeker,
was.
had the better memory,
I had
and
some
ran
Modern
better.
Warfare 2
It's the
Xbox
X.
360.
And the black one never failed on me. The white one I had red ringed and taught me about how to do customer returns.
Dude, we had like 4 Xboxes that red ringed.
Dude, Ryan, do you remember us like doing whatever the overheating crap was, where you wrap it in a blanket to try to get it?
And then it didn't work.
I don't think it ever worked.
They're like, oh, just wrap it in a blanket and let it run for a little bit. What?
like
probably
heats
made it
itself
overheat
up.
worse.
Exactly.
Well, they're like all
It's like
the
a virus,
problem.
you know. In a person, you gotta let it sweat itself out.
The problem is like the ring laser or whatever, the disc tray laser. That's why it's red ringing. Just do the towel thing. No, none of it ever worked.
And it took like a month or two for Xbox to actually get us their new one.
I
Which,
don't think
thinking back,
I don't think I've ever had a
know.
console that like quote red ringed or like died more than the Xbox. The 360,
as much
the
as
360 specifically. Although the GameCube was also kind of like terrible.
was it?
Yeah, it was pretty bad about like not working or scratching discs.
Maybe.
We had like we had 3 GameCubes as well.
I have fond memories of that GameCube.
I mean, GameCubes were cool, but like the first 2 we owned were really bad about scratching discs or just like not working.
Oh, I forgot we had more than one.
Yeah, we had several. Fuzz, did we get to you yet?
No.
I know you played football for a while.
In high school though.
Mhm.
I don't know if I have a favorite high school memory.
Are you with Blaze on the leaving thing?
Well, there was that. There was one time that so we would go. Our choir teacher was a teacher for both our school and the parish seat, which in Louisiana parishes are what counties are everywhere else. Um, and so we practiced together sometimes. I don't know if it was a practice or it was a show, but we were over there. And since I was old enough to drive, I was allowed to drive there and myself back. And nobody checked on whether we got back to school or not. There was no mechanism for that. And so like I went, and then a couple other people who were in the choir got in my truck, and then we went to Sonic, and then went driving around, and then finally came back later, hour and a half or so later than we were supposed to, and that was a lot of fun. And that worked a couple of times until one lady decided she wanted to be a chaperone of the new girl who moved into school and was like, "I know what you did. I'll tell people. Don't do it again." And then was like, "Okay, Karen, we won't do it again."
Oh,
And
You said
so
Karen, that's a recent thing.
yeah, I
No,
didn't.
he
I
started
didn't
it
say
all the way
Karen.
back then.
that's how
I'm
old
just
I am.
saying that
Bud
was
started it years ago.
the emotional thing.
Her
The
name was
emotional.
actually Karen.
Yeah. So there's that. I don't know that. I mean, there's been other things. I think other than that, like just the act of like being able to throw so much time into guitar and learn guitar. I don't know how I did it. I don't know. I don't think I could do something like that again. But I was practicing like 3 hours a day after school every day.
Dude, isn't that
and
super hard now? Like I
I
like
can't.
I like to play, but I don't know if I could play for 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like think people sounded cool, and I knew that you had to practice to be like that, and I was like, I want to sound cool. I'm still not good enough, and so I just like did that. I was also like ignoring some other things in my life. I was like running from other things while I was practicing, but it really works. So emotional pain, try it out. It really works.
I was gonna say I don't think anyone shoves themselves into something like that or Call of Duty unless they're running from something. You know?
I wasn't running from something. I was running towards something with Call of Duty.
You weren't running
I thought I was good enough to make it to the next level. I was not.
Did you do yours? Words
Nope.
are hard, dude. What is happening?
Did
you give us yours?
Are you
What is
drunk?
that?
Are you drunk?
Dude,
Ryan?
I'm not drunk. Like I was buzzed, but I realized something that was in my pocket is no longer in my pocket. So now I'm more alert than I was, because I'm kind of like pseudo looking for it.
So
The
mine
Bahoni?
was
Maybe.
my senior year we did a haunted trail, and it was super fun. Like it was a really good time spending time with like all of my really good high school friends. Like it wasn't the last time obviously, but like it was an extended week time where we got to actually hang out and not do school crap. and we just like me and my friend group, we had like a chainsaw house thing that we built, and like you walked in and people started coming at you from every direction with chainsaws. It was really fun. We made a kid pee his pants. It was awesome.
We made a kid pee his pants. It was
Wow.
awesome.
I mean, that's pretty
Yeah.
awesome, to be fair. Dude, you'd be canceled so fast if you did something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine what would happen if a bunch of high schoolers made another high schooler like wet himself.
With chainsaws,
Nowadays,
police would be called.
Yeah, like
they
assault.
paid to be scared
Oh,
in our
okay.
defense.
Well,
Like this was a paid haunted trail. It was like a project graduation thing, like for us, like saving up
should have
money
had
to
him
do
sign a
stuff our
waiver.
graduation. I don't know if they had waivers or not. I'm sure they did.
No, probably not. That's probably an understood thing. That's like the most
But-
wholesome one we've had so far.
It was actually really fun. Like enjoyed it.
That's cool.
Second, maybe tied actually. Blaze and I in high school used to go to Florida like every summer for like a week or 2 weeks. It was awesome. Always enjoyed going to
Yeah.
Florida. That was the good times.
I haven't been since I started working, sadly.
That 10,000 ping, dude.
Bro.
10,000 ping, bro.
Bro, that was legit
fun.
good internet for League. You know what I'm saying?
That's normal league internet, man. 10,000 ping. That was rough. That trip was fun. We need to do another one. We need to
Or
get
y'all
the
could
boys.
come to y'all could come to Hawaii instead.
I was gonna say we need to get the boys together and have a trip. Do a
I mean,
podcast
Hawaii
on the road.
would be a good place to go.
I'd go to Hawaii.
If we want to do like an easier trip, we can go to the river.
Zach can't do that.
I mean, I can, just
Oh,
not
that's fair.
not for
not
a
the same
while.
river.
We'll give you a year.
Oh yeah, we'll wait till you're back in the back stateside. Well, we'll take a trip together. We'll have a boys' weekend or something. Although I would kind of like to go visit Zach while he's in Hawaii.
Same.
No joke.
Yeah.
Maybe if they start to open things up and allow more people on the planes, which I'm surprised to hear that you're going to be getting family soon, Zach.
Yeah. It's
So
actually
that's-
pretty open now, but you just have to wear a mask and stuff throughout the whole plane ride and stuff. I mean, it's the same thing as like when I moved here.
And we'll have
So,
to
I mean-
save up, boys, and maybe come visit Zach on his birthday or something.
Well, that's not
Or the-
super long from now.
No, this year's flying by.
So
Like we're already almost into April.
Don't remind me.
Like 2020 just disappeared for me.
Yeah, it kind of did.
Like for most normal people, like you just kept working and you're like, oh, it's just now I'm inconvenienced because I have to wear a mask.
Hmm.
And it's like, whatever, I'm just working unsafely in a factory because I can't see anything. Like, okay.
Basically.
Or in
Well,
my
you-
case, is hey, I get to work from home. It's absolutely amazing. I never want to go back.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, like in my dad's case, I think his work is now they decided they're not gonna bring them back. They're like just shutting down that building and they will now work from home.
Oh, that's dope.
The feeling.
Well, he
more
doesn't like
workspace.
that. He
doesn't?
it's like he liked leaving and going to work.
that would
I'll
be
do his job.
unfortunate.
It's fine.
Well, I mean,
I'm just
I don't know if
I'm just
I don't
kidding.
know if you're qualified, Ryan.
I'm not qualified to do that job. What were you gonna say,
Trying
Fuzz?
to build an office behind the house, so you can still have that at-home feeling where you're in your underwear, but be away from the other people in your house.
My
Yeah.
honey, I'm going to work.
Yeah.
Walks to the office in
Walks
the
to
back
the
of house.
garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Don't
no, my
bother me
dad,
for 8
he's,
hours.
he's easily distracted. And
Same.
he's like, it's just hard for me because I want to watch TV or be on YouTube and stuff. When I was at work, I didn't really do that as much. But when he's at home, he can just
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super easy to do that, but
Yeah, a lot of my coworkers that have had, some of them have had to like quarantine and stuff because they got in contact with somebody that had it, and they were saying basically the same thing, where they were finding it hard to focus. They were
Yeah.
wanting to like watch TV or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, who watches TV in 2021?
Old people.
YouTube.
Dude, we have a TV that we don't use.
They're like
I'm
in
pretty
the
sure we
50s.
have a TV plan we don't use.
Yeah, well, it's
Probably
because we
'cause we
have
have
to have the internet.
It's so dumb. They won't let you have a plan without TV. It's like, you have to have the TV. It's like, we don't watch TV. I don't need it.
Really?
Yes.
You guys have to get.
They
Why?
make you because they don't want to give up the contracts for TV.
Bro, I'm in like Brownsville and I can just get internet.
Really?
Good
We
internet.
Well-
are caught between Comcast and AT&T and Memphis.
Well, those are the only ones who give internet here. Google Fiber hasn't made its way here yet. It's close, but it's
Spectrum-
not here yet.
Spectrum's been pretty decent. I mean, they go out randomly, but they fix it pretty quick.
That's because you live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. On the edge of town, too.
Dude. Oh,
The fact that you can even get internet.
yeah.
I was genuinely
so-
surprised I could get a gig.
Yeah. So, in terms of news and stuff today, we did get a couple of things, video game wise, that are decently big. Sony revealed their next gen controller for the PSVR, and it looks way better than the previous one they had, which they had been using since like the PS3, basically. I think it's like the PS Move controller is what they were technically called. They look like real VR controllers now, so
That is
They look-
exciting.
they look nice. And I'm not a big VR person myself, but I know lots of people love VR, so it's good to see them expanding that for the people that love that. So
Yeah. Updating on that, there is no finger tracking for those of you that understand what I'm talking about with that. For those of you that don't, basically finger tracking is letting you use your individual fingers while integrated into a game, so you can pick up objects with, say, your index and your pointer and your thumb, and so leaving your other fingers free to maybe grab other objects, versus what you might see online now
Other
where objects just teleport to your hand or are glued to it. It gives it just that next level of realism. And currently, I believe only the Valve Index controllers, which are considered the best controllers on the market right now, are capable of doing that.
so yeah, so no finger tracking, but I mean a big improvement over what we had previously for the VR people. So
Yeah,
Uh,
they're
the-
not those ones.
the
We'll see
other
how it goes.
big news we got this week is Square Enix announced the name for the Project Athea game, which looked really cool in the pre-production trailers and continues to look really cool. It's called Forspoken. Not really sure what kind of game it is, except it's beautiful. It's definitely running on that next gen Final Fantasy engine that Square Enix uses. It's from Luminous, their Luminous studios, and it looks incredible. Like maybe the best looking game I've seen yet. So I think it is a PlayStation 5 exclusive. So looks
Square
good.
Enix does have
Boo.
that to their credit of being probably the best visual game makers or game making company. I won't say they make the best games. They make good games, but they make probably the best looking games.
Yeah. And yeah, I kind of think Sony is making a play here. A lot of these Square Enix games have been Sony exclusive lately, and this is just conjecture, but I think Sony may be making a play on Square Enix soon, and they kind of need to, because I don't know if y'all saw this or not, but announced this week by Xbox, Bethesda is going to be completely exclusive to Xbox in the coming years. I think they have some contracts they have to fulfill with Sony still, but after those are fulfilled, like we won't see like Elder Scrolls or Far Cry, not Far Cry, Elder Scrolls. What is the Doom? Yeah, you won't
Fallout?
see Doom. Fallout, that's the one I was trying to think of. We won't see any of those games on PlayStation anymore.
They haven't exactly been like
Surprise,
best
surprise.
quality lately. Although, but Doom's been good. Doom's good.
Yeah. So I mean, Sony kind of needs to do a little bit. Like, even though, like, yeah, they haven't been like the best games of lately, they have had some good ones still. Like, they are still a well-respected studio, and like they put out good games. There's a reason like people love their games. Like, I know we're all kind of okay with them. I think all of us love Skyrim. Like, that was the last really big game I really liked by Bethesda, and that was, I don't know, I think that came out the year I started college in like 2012. So I mean, it's been a while for me, but um, Sony already has big partnerships with Square Enix. I could see that being just another caveat where, hey, you like JRPGs, and like we are the place to play those. Like, we make those games. Like, that would be a big feather in Sony's cap, in my opinion. Like, I just think it would work out well for them.
Okay, so I have
So
a question. Or
yeah.
Seth.
Oh, for me. Before you do that, Zach, can you just clarify real quick? When they say that it'll be Xbox exclusive, does that mean truly Xbox exclusive, or is that
They
like
said
Xbox and PC?
wherever Game Pass is available.
Be Xbox
Okay.
PC.
But also, Game Pass, only certain games are available on PC, whereas like compared to their Xboxes. So I don't really know what the defining line is necessarily. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, some games you can play on the Xbox with Game Pass, you cannot play on PC with Game Pass.
Okay.
It just kind of sucks in general to see like a huge franchise that's been multi-platform for the history basically of all of their games decide or get bought out by one of these companies. And I think we're going to see this effect where Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft buy out all these other companies eventually, and we're just going to have each company has their studio of games, and we're not going to have big third-party AAA titles anymore. They'll just be each company making individual AAA titles.
Which is weird considering it seemed very much like we were headed towards the direction of true cross-platform.
Mm-hmm. Like, even Sony is now, for the first time ever this year, releasing one of their major big games onto Microsoft platforms. They're releasing, I know y'all hate sports, but this is a big deal. They're releasing MLB The Show on Microsoft on Xboxes, which they have never done before. Like, they own that title, like, and it's always been on PlayStation. It's been a big deal. People buy PlayStations to play the show, and now it's going to be on Xbox as well. Like, I thought it was kind of a good faith thing, you know? But maybe Sony's gonna be like, screw you. You want to hold Bethesda and not let people play their games? Like, you don't have to have the show next year. I don't know. We'll see.
Back to Blaze, and you said you had a question for me, so let me hear it.
Well, I have a question. Kind of anybody can answer, but Elder
Well,
Scrolls
I just want to
or
interject.
Fallout.
I want to interject here real quick. Fuzz, how much time you got?
I'm not sure. Probably not a lot at this point.
Okay. So
So-
whenever you need to dip out, feel free.
I mean, since we're taking a break to address it, I might as well dip out now. So
You're gonna go. Okay,
Yeah.
you're gonna go ahead and dip out then.
yeah.
We're gonna say goodbye to. We're gonna say goodbye to Fuzz. He has something he has to go do.
Go
Okay.
get it.
Goodbye,
Talk
Fuzzy.
to y'all later. All right. Bye.
Happy birthday, Week Fuzzy.
See you tomorrow.
I won't.
But, Elder Scrolls or Fallout.
Elder Scrolls. I have yet to actually beat a Fallout game. I have
Someone-
played several, and I don't have necessarily anything against them, but given the choice between realism, like futuristic, and fantasy, I am hands down a fantasy guy. I can enjoy like the post-apocalyptic thing, but fantasy is where
I would agree with you in almost every sense except like where Star Wars is concerned. Like, I am a huge like high fantasy person, except with Star Wars. Like, I'm a bigger Star Wars fan than I think I am a high fantasy fan. Wow, we sound super nerdy. But anyways, like, I love the Star Wars universe more than any other like fictional universe there is.
Makes
Bring me
sense.
I
more
would
Star Wars
consider
games.
that. I mean,
Makes
I guess
sense.
you could consider that post-apocalyptic.
Well,
in a way, I would
you
say
said
sci-fi.
super futuristic.
Yeah, I did say super futuristic. So between the genres of sci-fi, fantasy, and like post-apocalyptic mess with its own futuristic stuff, which is what Fallout is. It's
Hmm.
future post-apocalyptic U.S. or really the world. I do like sci-fi to a degree. I like the settings of it. Star Wars, I will admit, is an exception. I do really enjoy the universe, but something like, say, Star Trek, it's not really my thing.
I'd agree with that. Not a big Star Trek fan. That's more of like our parents all like that. I don't know if your parents do. My parents like that.
Yeah, they like Star Trek some. They prefer Star Trek.
Wait, you just said they like Star Trek
Yeah,
some.
you said the
They
same thing
prefer Star
twice.
Trek.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, not Star Trek. Stargate.
Oh,
That's what
gotcha.
I
Yeah,
meant.
my parents like that too, and I we used to watch it as kids, and I was always like, this is all right, but I'd rather watch something Star Wars related.
Yeah.
But
Truth.
back to the exclusivity stuff. How do y'all feel about that? Like, do you think we're gonna see a day in the next, I don't know, I would say maybe 5 to 10 years where there are no more third-party studios? They're really just all first-party studios owned by Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony.
Probably.
Until they run out of ideas and become really boring, and then it'll be indie games selling
Well,
more.
it's what he's saying. Like you won't be able to release indie games anymore. I mean, you'll
I
probably
don't
always
think
be able to
it'll.
do it on Steam.
Yeah.
I don't think they will. They can afford to do that because unless they're pumping out basically like the Call of Duty thing, where games are coming out all the time, every single year, to avoid any downtime, you need those indie games to pad and give your development team time
I
to come up with their really great games.
I would argue that gaming is bigger than it's ever been, and it's not because of games like Call of Duty anymore.
I wouldn't say Call of Duty is. If I was seemed like I was trying to make that point. That's not where I was going with it. I was going more so in the direction that Call of Duty pumps out a new game every year,
Hmm.
right? And I feel like in order to keep interest, they'd have to do something similar. Not saying like each franchise would have to always have like a new year. I'm saying
Yeah.
like their main IPs would almost have to be constantly rotating in and out instead of like the weight that we're currently having. Because
Hmm.
otherwise, you're going to end up with Nintendo effect. I
Where
mean,
you get one game every 7 years or so.
right, or like even yourself, like you bought Nintendo, you played Breath of the Wild. Maybe I don't even know if you kept it for Odyssey when Odyssey came out, and then you're like, well, there are no more games here, and you sold it.
Oh yeah, I did sell it. I have one again, but
I have a feeling like a
but
lot
I
of them
haven't
are going
played
to
it
do.
really in a long time.
I have a feeling a lot of them are going to it go that route. Right? Because think about PlayStation 5 when it launched. Yeah, you had the Dark Souls remake and maybe what
Demon
one or
Souls.
two other games, but the rest were indie.
Well, you
And
even look at like the Microsoft launch was even worse. They're like, look, you can play all of our old Xbox games on your Xbox. Series X? Is that the new one?
I think so. Yeah.
I always get confused. They have so many Series X, One X, Pen X, who knows? But they didn't have a launch title really. Like their launch title was you can play our old games on your new console. Like because Halo looked horrible and it got delayed massively till this year, I think. Or it may still even be pushed back till next year. But like there's still not really like an exclusive game on Xbox right now that's like, oh look, you need to buy an Xbox to play this game.
see, I don't
But
even know what that would be. Like even with the advertisements that they've done, I don't know what the Xbox seller is supposed to be besides
it
maybe
was
Halo.
Halo. It was Halo.
It was
That was
Halo. It
supposed to
was
come out
Halo
at
and Gears of
launch.
War.
No, well,
And
they didn't even have a new Gears of War. That was a Xbox, the previous generation Xbox, the one.
those
So,
games have been beaten to death.
yeah, I loved like the first game I got on my Xbox 360 was Gears of War 1, and it was like my first real mature game, and it was like incredible. Like there was no like I can remember still chopping that first guy and having been like, "Oh shoot." Like with the chainsaw, you're just like as a kid, you were just like, holy crap, this is different than anything else I've ever played.
Because Halo itself had an M rating, but it was an M rating.
It was a soft M.
Yeah, it wasn't a hard M because like the blood was all colored. Like maybe occasionally
So
you
is it-
have a scene.
So then it was like a instead of a
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gears of
Okay.
War is definitely with that chainsaw.
Okay.
But
sorry, audio
yeah.
guys. Sorry.
yeah. Sorry for your ears if you're using headphones.
Sorry
But
for me later.
I think while I hate it as a fan of like the Elder Scrolls games, and even like as I was looking forward to Starfield, um, which we still don't know if that game is technically exclusive or not. That's what they were like. We're not going to discuss right now what games are exclusive or not. Just that in the future, all games will be exclusive, which makes me feel like some of these games already have contracts with Sony that they are obligated to fulfill.
They are.
Like
sure.
games that are close to coming out. So we won't see this maybe fingers crossed till like next generation would be
I'll-
my thought.
I would
But-
just say Xbox hasn't been known for making the best business decision when it comes to their gaming console, and so I would not be surprised if this blows up in their face and they're
Yeah,
having to
or-
backtrack and retract that statement.
Well, I mean, just think about even recently they raised the price of the whatever that service is, Game Pass, I think it's called. They raised the price and everybody was like, excuse me, what? Because it was like $30 a month or $40 a month then, and people were like freaking out.
Well, that's a
Yeah.
lot. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
So,
Like,
and they backtracked like a week later. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a
was a
mistake.
mistake.
We didn't mean to do that. Like that was an accident. Like classic. Like, oh, that wasn't our fault. It was a mistaken
glitch in
graphic.
the system.
Yeah. I think it is like what I was saying though. Well, I hate it as a fan of those games. I think it's good overall though for Sony. Like I would probably classify myself as a Sony fanboy. Like I like Sony. I like their games usually more. They have better first party games to me. Like I'm a big God of War fan. I'm really big into Final Fantasy. While I know it's not always exclusive to PlayStation, they're normally kind of exclusive to PlayStation, give or take a couple. Uh, and I just think they make better first party games, or they have for at least the last generation and a half. So, I mean,
To me,
I hope this pushes them to be better even than they are right now, because now they have to compete against not only just whatever crap Xbox was putting out, but also now Bethesda games. So I hope this pushes them to do better.
well, see, you say do better, but they kind of, for the most part, lead the pack. I mean, obviously, I think they're always striving to improve, but it's not like they're coming in as the underdog here. I feel like Sony very much has capitalized themselves in the market, and Xbox is still struggling to try to claim that spot. Nintendo doesn't have to. No one can touch Nintendo's market. Nintendo is unstoppable with what they're good at, which is just making a game. Like
Yeah.
a good, fun, anyone can play game. That's where
I-
Nintendo's unbeatable. Sony, as far as like the true art form of a game, I would say.
I really don't think the competition is Sony versus Microsoft versus Nintendo. Nintendo, like you said, they do their own thing. They don't like they a while back were like, we don't really care what's going on between you two. We're gonna be Nintendo and do our thing. Like, and that's cool. Let them do their stuff. And I feel like we're going that way now with Microsoft and Sony a little bit. Microsoft's trying to force this Game Pass thing as the next big thing in gaming, and Sony's like, yeah, no, we're just gonna keep making really good games. Like, and like you can release all these games for free on your Game Pass, and like, cool. But like, hey, we have the good first party games still. What I
Sony-
hope doesn't happen though, if you remember at the start of PS3, Sony got a little big for themselves. They thought they were the hot stuff. Like, because they had so much success coming off of like the PS1 and the PS2, and they got really corporate and like less really consumer friendly. And a lot of people are saying it feels like they're kind of moving back that way now. Like in the middle of the PS3, they kind of fixed what they were doing wrong. And at PS4, they were having fun, like as a company. They like this is how we share games thing at that E3 that like destroyed Microsoft basically. It sunk the Xbox One before it ever launched. And they're kind of slipping back into their corporate greed setting, it feels like. So hopefully this pushes them to be like, oh wait, maybe we need to remember what we were doing.
So I'm curious, why do you say that? Because I have not felt that in the recent posts. I've felt, if anything, kind of the opposite in terms of what they're trying to do, and it feels like they got their throat close to Xbox and they just keep pushing it in. And now that they have the lead, they're just focusing on honing that. Like they don't have to rush things now because the competition is virtually gone. Like Xbox is having to play catch up, and they know
And
this.
yeah, and that's why Xbox is buying all these studios and stuff. And I think at the end of the day, M- Microsoft has more money than Sony in general. Like they can buy more studios than Sony. So like if this gets to an arms race of buying studios, Microsoft is eventually going to have more and better studios than Sony. I would say right now Sony's still okay. They still have a great stable of first party publishers. So I mean, but you get out there like say Microsoft buys Square Enix, like I was talking about earlier. I think Sony should buy them. Like if they can't buy them, because so many of the great games I remember as a kid playing on PlayStation are Square Enix games. Like that, like those two go hand in hand. If Microsoft buys them too, and then you're like, oh, by the way, no more JRPGs from Square Enix on PlayStation. Like, oh, well, that sucks.
So,
Oh, but
if you
why they're
answered it,
corporate?
yeah.
Um, just how they're pricing stuff. From what, like I said, I don't really know how I feel about it. They just seem not as like in that general sense of fun as they were at the start of PS4. Maybe it's because I was a kid still when PS4 was getting announced. I was like at the end of high school, starting college, and it was just like I was all about the Sony versus PlayStation or Sony versus Microsoft console war stuff, and honestly, that decided which one I was getting for me because we were all Xbox people on the generation before. Xbox 360 was like the console of choice. That's where we all played. And like switching between Xbox 360 and PS4 was really, I think we decided watching E3 at Blaze's house that summer. We were watching it on TV and we are like, oh shoot, Microsoft, they're creating a not a gaming console, it's a just a console that also has gaming kind of thing. And like they actually Sony came
And
out and were like, we are a gaming company. We're gonna have fun. You can come have fun with us, or you can go see Microsoft. And Microsoft has backtracked a lot off of all of that, and they have seemed to have gotten better. And Sony has kind of just stuck with their plan. I also don't know if Game Pass is going to be the way, but it is super consumer friendly. All new games at launch, that's pretty awesome. Like for a steady price of, I think it's $24.99 a month for Game Pass, but like that is consumer friendly. And a lot of people are like, Sony needs to have an answer for it. And I think we're going to see what Sony has to say about it in the next year or so. They've been talking about Sony having to come up with something. We'll see.
Sony hasn't been as sassy as they've been in past years.
Yeah. It's the money thing for me, Seth. Like raising the price of everything. Sony kind of started it with the games and stuff. Sony came out, all of our first party games are going to be $70. And Microsoft was like, oh, we can do that too. Like, so, but
Yep.
even then, you don't have to pay for Microsoft games because you're a Game Pass subscriber. So they're like, they kind of got them there. You are paying for it, but not really. You know what I mean?
If the games are quality, then I can see it. Also, inflation is the thing
Mm-hmm.
they have to
Yeah.
deal with.
And that's
It's
what
true.
I always was reading, not from like the corporate side, but from actual people like breaking down the numbers and being like, look, guys, we knew this was coming. Like they staved off the price increase for as long as they could from what we see, but look at these next gen stuff and how much bigger games are getting. Like we always knew this was coming. It's
I
just
mean-
this is when it happened.
PS2 games used to be $50, right?
Yep.
Yeah, then they got up to 60. Now they're up to 70.
But that's where I was talking about, like, I kind of like what Microsoft is doing. I think it would be cool if Sony did something similar. And they kind of are. They're starting to do like new releases as PlayStation Plus games. That's kind of cool. Like, I
Yeah.
just hope they continue that.
Don't they have like PlayStation Now or something like that?
I
It's
also
not that,
think
it's not good enough.
it's not good enough, but honestly, that should be a part of PlayStation Plus. I know a lot of people have talked about that.
Yeah.
It really should just be an add-on to PlayStation Plus, another thing. Like, they can't, even if you raise the cost of PlayStation Plus by like $5 or whatever a month for PlayStation Now. I think it's $10 a month for PlayStation Now. So split that in half, put it on top of PlayStation Plus. You would increase your net profits because you have to have PlayStation Plus to play online. People are going to buy it, and then you can get more people to play your games. Like,
Yeah, and I would say PlayStation Plus has been worth it because I've gotten several free games that I've been interested in playing before, but just never got around to actually buying, and then they just happened to pop up, and so I got a chance to play them.
yep. But
So I appreciate
I don't know. We spent a lot of time on this. If there's anything else y'all want to talk about, we can move on for sure.
I would just close in saying I think the future of gaming is going to be like these game passes or these subscription things. I feel like
And
that's
I
the
think
direction we're headed. And I look
I
forward to it.
think Microsoft is selling out really hard on that being the future, and we'll see what Sony thinks about it.
Ryan Blaze, did you have anything to say? I know me and Zach have been kind of dominating this conversation.
No,
Is
not
Ryan
really.
back? Oh, he's back. Okay.
I don't know if you found the thing you were
I
looking
mean,
for,
I
Ryan.
mean the entire planet is working to a subscription based marketplace or subscription based plan. I'm not sure. I can't think of the right word for it right now, but it's really
you will own nothing and be happy.
well. It's just yeah. Essentially, you'll own nothing, and it's the worst because not only will you not own property anymore, because I also think that like owning stuff and it's going to be all digital, which means you still don't own a physical copy that you can do whatever you want with. You will own a digital copy that they can cut your rights off to or access to at any time, just from the DMR. Is it DMR?
Mm-hmm.
DM. I'm a little drunk. I can't remember the. I can't remember it right now, but yeah. Well, I mean, they just cut the copyright off to your disc. They essentially say like, "Oh, your copyright lease," because that's essentially all it is. It's like, "Oh, your lease is up. It's no good anymore. You can't play this game," and they don't have to give you a reason. It's just like I would rather. Physical copies are gone. Everything's going to move to subscription. They count on you to subscribe and then forget that you've subscribed without actually using their service. It's the worst. And that's why websites give you bonuses or give you like $5 off for setting up autopay, because they expect you to set it and forget it, and then have millions of people not using their services but paying them money every month. It's the worst. It's the worst.
I agree. That's why I kind of hope Sony doesn't go that way necessarily.
I have
Because
no, I have another question for you not next week, but the next time you're on, Zach, because I want to talk to you about this specifically, and you'll know why when we actually have the conversation. But
okay, yeah, we've gone kind of long already, so
yeah. Well,
alrighty.
Unless you guys have anything else to add, waka waka. That's all I have to add. Blaze.
Right, it's pizza time.
Pizza time.
I don't know if you should drive for pizza though, Blaze. Maybe get it delivered.
I'm getting Audrey to drive.
Say he's got a girlfriend. That's who does.
Crack that whip, bro.
I don't. After the talk of the other thing and now the whip, I don't know if I want to know. Anyway,
you don't need to know. It goes on at the house in Brownsville.
Yeah. If you guys made it this far, we really appreciate it. If you cut out early, we also appreciate you watching. Don't forget to drop us a like or a subscription if you like what we do here. We try and be as consistent as possible. Within the next few weeks, I'm really hoping to like kick myself into gear and try and make sure the podcast is available on other platforms, as many platforms as possible, because we don't know how long we'll be on YouTube for. So give us a follow. Give us a follow. What is this, Twitch? Words are hard.
Twitter?
Yeah, just keep your eyes open. If an episode doesn't make it up, then I've either not finished editing it, or
Or he's been
YouTube,
assassinated.
or YouTube doesn't like that episode. But,
Or been assassinated.
Or been maybe that one. I'm not going to say if I want that or not. Dude, assassinated would be the way to go, though.
Hopefully it'd be quick. There's some nasty assassins in this world, though, so keep that in
True.
mind.
So Zach's not going to be here next week. We're going to try and get Andy next week. I messaged him. I'll send him a message on Monday or Wednesday, probably both days next week, to see if we can get him on next Friday to fill in for Zach. Otherwise, it'll probably just be the four of us. So we'll see you then.